I'm here with Anish Giri, who just beat his compatriot Jordan van Forest. Anish, the Dutch derby, tell us about it.
Yeah, I was really lucky today to win. He played really solid in the opening. I didn't really expect him to be that solid because normally he plays more aggressive chess. But okay, in this situation, I understand, and also it's really difficult for me if he plays solid, especially if I don't prepare for that. I got though some small advantage. I think there was less than normally than this. I mean, he gave me the bishop pair. First, I overestimated my advantage. I thought it's very good for me. Really. Then I started noticing all kinds of counterplay with his knight. I couldn't make anything work really, and knight was jumping all the time, and I don't know, like my, I was like a little better, but knight kept jumping in all the lines, and finally I got a really small pull. I was still happy to get that because I mean at first I was excited, and then at some point I realized I have nothing, and then I was still happy to keep the game going, press, and then I found this trick to scare him with the pawn endgame, and then he has to be really inventive. I did think he has a way. He should have gone with the knight the other way. Then we have some sort of a race where I felt like he must be fine because in the game we have a similar kind of race, but I'm just up a pawn because in the line that I was calculating he would collect my h pawn, and then somewhere he would create passed pawn probably, and I don't know. I felt that he must have a draw there, and I was sure he has to go for that. I mean, what else? But what he did was really bad. He must have blundered something. Yeah, really good for me. I was very clever of mine probably to go for this bluff with forcing this long sequence, and I guess he got scared away from something. But I'm really happy to have won.
And talking about the opening prep and his solid prey, he really played into lines that you have many games in. And you spent about 10 minutes in the opening thinking about castling here. What was going through your mind? Were you worried about his prep, or what was you thinking about?
Yeah, it's like Hikaru, when he draws all these 200 arrows, and then he's like, I think I'm gonna castle. I had a bit of the same thing. Well, I know this line really well. To be honest, I didn't even prepare it. Like I sort of know it like inside out to the point there's no point for me to prepare. Like I know my options, I know his options, so I was just thinking like actually I planned something a little different yesterday. Then during the game I decided to do the same thing I did against Nepo. White has many options. Black has to be really precise, and Black has to really enjoy it. If he wants to play this line, you have to really enjoy the suffering, embrace the suffering. I guess he tried to, but finally it's difficult. It's difficult.
Do you find it strange when your opponent plays into your lines and lines that you know so well?
Well, the thing is that there are some people who say that like these good lines they are all worked out to a draw, and so the downside is that if both of you know it too well, it's potentially a draw. But there are a lot of options, and I think it's difficult because there are many lines I played at this point. Like at some point I was trying to find like a line with which I can surprise my opponent. But whatever I played, you see in the database tons of my games. I've played like all kinds of openings with this point. But that's also a good thing. I mean, it's difficult for my opponents to not play something that I have played a lot of experience in. Catalan is only one of the many things that I do. This line is only one of the many lines I do against Bishop e7. And I guess it's not really feasible to memorize everything to the end. And he got a solid position. But again, I think you have to really enjoy these kind of things. You have to, be ready for a grind. And it's not pleasant. But I mean, sometimes with black I do it like that. I'll do that often. I enjoy it often. But it's a specific mindset. You have to really be like, you have to enjoy what you're doing. So sometimes I get into that mindset and I defend all day, and I feel really happy after I make the draw. And but it's a specific kind of mindset, and I guess he wasn't in that one.
Let's talk about you looking at other players' games. We have a nice reel about you literally looking at notation pad and clock and the board, and so you're also tweeting about other games. How closely do you follow the other games in a tournament that you're playing?
Yeah, quite close. I'm curious about more than the standing. I'm curious about like the chess content of the games. I prepare every day, and I have a lot of options that go through my mind before I choose something, and I'm very curious what my colleagues, who have gone through the same process, what they have picked, what they have played. It's a lot of fun watching the games. Always there's a lot of content with me, like when I do the most mundane things. Like there's another one where I just literally came back from a toilet, and it's gone quite viral, I think, at some point too. Just walking back from the toilet, to be honest, nothing special really. But Budya puts a good music and it works. So yeah, you guys too. It's great. I think content is a lot of fun. I think many people, who follow chess, they don't have the level or interest to follow the chess, because chess is actually quite a difficult game, and it's the problem with popularizing chess is that the level for entry is really high, but the barrier for entry. But you can just follow these memes and the reels without playing at all, I guess, and that's still a lot of fun. And then when I look somewhere, I'll walk, do some things other humans do. It's kind of it's catching some catching some news. So it's good.
So chess memes are good. That's what you're saying.
Good memes, yes, for sure, for sure. No, I think again, content is really a great part of it. I mean, not just the chess content, but like content around chess, because I think there are like lots of people, and probably like that's like the majority of people at this point, because I think chess fans that actually follow games, they're quite in the minority. And I noticed that when I interact with, tweet something, which I think is like fascinating, and there's like barely any interaction, because I realize nobody like knows what I talk about, nobody cares. While I think like most people, they really enjoy chess content. I think it's fun. I've also, there are other things like there's, for example, games like for example, I don't understand freestyle chess. Like I also can't play it, but I like the content. So when there's a freestyle chess tournament, like I don't look at the games, but I like the YouTube videos. So or there's some other sports like that. I mean, sometimes I see some funny things. I think it's great, yeah, for sure.
My final question to you regarding content, because this has been a topic of discussion on the internet, is dress code in chess tournaments. What do you think about it? Do you think it should be implemented? It should be stringent? And would you ever wear jeans in a chess tournament while playing?
Yeah, sure. I wore jeans plenty, and I've worn very casual things. I've worn hoodies, t-shirts, all sorts of things in many tournaments. Sometimes it helps me, like sometimes, like especially like in a big open tournament, when I'm like not like at the top or something, in the middle, I feel like I'm one with the people, like, and then I have to belong there, sort of, and I don't want to be like this guy in a suit and like all these fancy things and sitting there amongst the people, so standing out. So like in an open tournament when I do badly, like sometimes I want to just, go into the place where I now belong and try to belong there and fight my way back to eventually get to the point where I can wear a suit again. So I do a lot of these things. I think it's, yeah, sure. I mean, it's interesting. This dress code makes sense. I think there are different sports where, like, I think in snooker they have all these fancy things, yeah, like the three-piece kind of things. These jackets, yeah, they have in snooker, yeah, like the fancy ones. I don't know what the name is. And I think it would be fun if we had that. I think in some events, there are not many events that enforce clothing. There are a few. I think, okay, Freestyle, first of all, did these jackets, but also I think like Armageddon did some things you were supposed to wear. I think it could be fun. But many chess players, they don't want to play along, and they like to make trouble, It's a way also to gain some confidence before tournament. You're like very anxious and nervous before tournament, and you just can't wait to, like, you look for trouble. And Bobby Fischer like used this a lot, yeah. Like he would just make everybody follow his rules, like make organizers just beg him to play. And I heard that like one of the reasons he did all that is because then he felt like after all that, then now he's ready to play. Now the conditions are like like quote unquote perfect. Everybody bows to him, and now like the king can enter. So I think it's one of the reasons why some chess players like fight dress code. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the dress code, but jeans also fine. Again, it's really like if they forbid the jeans and you wear the jeans, then you make some sort of a statement. But if nobody would forbid the jeans, wearing the jeans is just regular. So I don't know. I think it's not about the actual dress code, but about some people choosing like to break it or something, and that's kind of a decision which is quite newsworthy. But dress code in itself, yeah, I like. Today we were talking with my friend before. We were talking about Vincent Keimer for some reason, some random reason, and then I looked at him before the game, and he had nice outfit. Also has a nice ring and like. I thought to myself at that moment, like he probably like thinks about these things, how to look. I think that's cool. While you also have some players clearly focusing on the game itself.
Well, thank you so much, Anish, and thank you for joining us today. Good luck for the rest.